Well, hi YouTubers. Okay, now of the Figure Side 100 books, as you can see, I got me a little flashy light sign. However, if I turn the light on, you actually can't see the lettering, courtesy of my camera, so it's off for the moment. But hey, I thought, hey, let's have some fun with this. I'm recording this at about 1:45, but I'm going to be out tomorrow and I want to get this up now. I've covered almost 40 books of the Figure Side 100, so I'm going quite well. I've got pretty much to the end of August to actually do the 100, so it's all going quite well. So, S.J. Kincaid, the Diabolic. I've had this since last year and I've been waiting to read this. And honestly, what was I waiting for? This book is so good. Now let's read the blurb, okay? Nemesis is a Diabolic, created to protect a galactic senator's daughter, Sidonia, the girl who has grown up by her side and who is much as a sister as a master. There's no one Nemesis wouldn't kill to keep her safe. But when the power-mad Emperor summons Sidonia to the galactic court as a hostage, there's only one way for Nemesis to protect Sidonia. She must become her. I know, right? I mean, even a blurb on the back, okay? A Diabolic is ruthless. A Diabolic is powerful. A Diabolic has a single task: kill in order to protect the person you've been created for. This book is so good. Essentially, it's kind of like the Roman Empire centered into the far, far-flung future where humanity, books, the world itself, okay, Earth, is like a distant memory, even if it isn't memory. Earth is like a myth. It's set so far in the future that Earth is not even the Earth that once was. It's just non-existent now, okay? People have books. Well, certain character called Tyrus has books, but only has, like, due to his eccentricities. They're not really historical documents. They're like, oh, he collects fun things, okay? So, this book is so good. Let me just read how it starts, okay? Everyone believed Diabolics were fearless, but in my earliest years, all I knew was fear. It preyed on me the very morning the Empyreans viewed me in the corals. I couldn't speak, but I understood most words I heard. The court master was frantic in his warnings to his assistants. The Senator von Imperium and his wife, the Imperial matriarch, will be arriving shortly. The keeper paced around my pen, surveying me head to toe, searching for any defect. Okay? Straight away, you're thrust into Nemesis' world. She is a Diabolic. She is human-looking, but she is not human. She's not considered human. She is a slave. She is chattel. She is a killing machine. She's not meant to have love or fears or emotions. She's bonded to a particular person and she's raised to give her life for that person being Sidonia. Now Sidonia thinks of Nemesis as like a sister figure, sees her as a human, wants her to be happy, but the whole world is against Diabolics. There's some kind of hypocrisy with Diabolics as well, okay? Whereas they are not considered human, they don't have a soul. The vicar, what the fact vicar is actually used, refuses to allow or even baptize or bless Nemesis because she is soulless. She doesn't have the flame or the spark of humanity. However, reading this book is quite clear that Nemesis does. She has humanity, but she's taught not to even recognise it within herself. And it's quite interesting reading this book. As you go through it, as Nemesis regains emotions, she is taught, she is sent in Sidonia's place to the Galactic Emperor, who's holding basically the Senator's children hostage. As she begins to fake humanity, you can see how human she's becoming, even though she is an unstoppable killing machine. And there's this big kind of duality between the individual and expectations, and it's absolutely brilliant to read. I absolutely adore this book. Now, one thing I love too is that Nemesis as a character, she is unintentionally naive to the world around her because her entire world has been Sidonia. She's sent off to this galactic emperor, if you will, and as a mercy of the court, where people attempt to make Sidonia, in disguise as Sidonia, who attempt to make her a victim, who attempt to basically assault her, and Nemesis is kick-ass, but has to do it within the guise of Sidonia. And it's quite interesting having her Diabolicness, if you will, chipped away to appear more human to the point where she actually is, and she actually manages to fool everyone. It's so good. It is so good. Now there's another bit here I'm going to read out. When I touched the soft skin of Sidonia's cheek, she flinched. I examined her dark hair, such a contrast to my pale white blonde shade. I leaned close to examine the ices of her large eyes. Fear flooded their depths, and I wanted that fear gone. She still trembled, so I placed my palms on her frail arms. I stood very still, hoping my steadiness would calm her. Sidonia stopped trembling, the fear faded. Her lips tipped up at the corners. I imitated the gesture, forcing my lips to curl. It felt unnatural and strange, but I did it for her. It was the first time in my life I'd acted on behalf of someone other than myself. "Hello, Nemesis," Sidonia whispered. She swallowed loudly. "My name is Sidonia." The doctor nodded. "Nemesis is bonded to you now. She'll live and breathe for you all the days of your life." "I like her," Donia declared, smiling at me. "I think we'll become friends." The doctor laughed softly. "Friends, yes. I promise you, Nemesis, will be the best friend you ever have. She'll love you until your dying day." At last I had a name for this feeling, the strange but wonderful new sensation within me. It is what the Imperial matriarch had promised me. This was love. Straight away, there is love, but Nemesis has been kind of conditional to recognise it within herself, to kind of deny her own humanity. And it's absolutely brilliant how little bits and little driplets come in to show how human Nemesis actually is, and to the point where she can't deny it to herself anymore. It's this lovely, lovely bit where, I'm going to read this other bit out, this is further along, where Nemesis acquires a dog. Yeah, a dog. Called Deadly. Part bear, part dog. Now, obviously, okay, dogs see the truth within us and the goodness within us, and Deadly absolutely loves Nemesis. So that kind of says everything. The moment you get a dog, that's it, you're human. Okay? This is when they go planet side, okay, for the first time. And Nemesis as Sidonia is in a garden for the first time. Deadly flattened his ears and growled. I froze in place. More droplets hit my skin, and I knew the source had to be the vaporous clouds above us. Rain. I heard this phenomenon. The gardens in the Imperial fortress had sprinklers designed to stimulate rain. And then, as a faucet had been turned on, water began streaming all about us through a million tiny fountains. The unexpected soaking took me by surprise, and as I pulled Deadly with me back towards the villa, wind began to blow the water into my eyes. Wretched, wretched existence. Snart and Imperium was right. This was. A blinding flash split a tree apart, and then it came to a deafening noise. An explosion. We were under attack. Lightning. It's lightning. Nemesis has no experience lightning, so it's a kind of naivety within her world. As she has been raised alongside Sidonia, she is seeing the world through Sidonia's eyes. She experiences what Sidonia is experiencing, and she is an advanced killing machine, but at times brilliantly naive too about the harsh realities of the planet and the world, and it's absolutely beautiful in some respects. Now, regarding this, due to convoluted means, another character comes in called Tyrus, who is heir to the Imperial throne, and a madman, and he crosses paths with Nemesis disguised as Sidonia, and this is where the kind of balance tilts, because Nemesis experiences emotions, but also starts to experience real human feelings, scary and confusing, and there is a brilliant balance between the human and the Diabolic, and through this being from the first person narrative, it's a fantastic book, because end of the day, Nemesis has not really had to deal with human emotions. She doesn't really know who to trust, and she has to. If Sidonia winds up being a pawn in other people's plans, so does Nemesis as a Diabolic. Yeah, it is brilliantly written. The descriptions of the world, the shallowness and entitlement of everyone, and the fact is that these people have all the privilege afforded to them, but no one is happy. It's all a facade. It is very, very similar to the period of the Roman Emperor, or any period of empirical rule, if you will, but very much like the Roman Empire. The kind of, your life exists at the whim of the Emperor, okay, up or down, they can decide your fate. And I've got to admit, I like how S.J. Kincaid writes the violence in this book. It's so to the point and graphic, but not over the top. When there is violence, it's kind of justified violence. And one thing I like is that Nemesis is not meant to enjoy violence. It's her job. But at the same time, when it's justified violence, you can get the feel, the human emotion of how much they deserve it ringing in your ears, to the point where the Diabolic, the soulless creation, if you will, becomes human. And one thing I like about the point of the Diabolics is, the fact is, I'm going to slight spoil territory here, Nemesis shouldn't even be there, because there was a decree by the Emperor to all the Diabolics should die. However, the Imperial family, the Imperium family, refused to do so, and essentially substituted because of they actually cared about Nemesis, okay, or Sidonia cared about Nemesis. So, but however, the Emperor himself has Diabolics. So once again, the hypocrisy coming in. And one thing also is, this book is a masterful piece of world building. You get to know what's going on as you go on. And the thing is, the world builds a bit more strongly as Nemesis becomes a little bit more human. And that's all I can really say. However, the end is, I think, kind of bittersweet, because people may get what they want and what they deserve, but they're still kind of in this system, and they got to try to inflict change. It's where Tyrus comes in. I'm not going to go into much detail about Tyrus, the heir to the Empire, but he will keep you guessing to the very, very end, and even more so. So anyway, that's pretty much it. This book, The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid, designed to protect, destined to destroy. I do recommend it. It's, within 400 pages, you are on this thrown into this adventure. And it doesn't waste words of exposition. It's just beautifully, beautifully done. And also, one thing though is this, I just found this out today. There's a sequel called Empress, which I would love to read. However, for those of my videos, book ban. So, S.J. Kincaid, thank you so much for this fantastic book. And recommend The Diabolic to everyone. Must be a film. Bye now.